So you're giving users an option about how dynamically this is going to address the problem. In general, what's your advice to people about how often this box should be checking and fixing and correcting itself?
Well, there's two different ways you can operate it. You can operate it in the please fix it and then stop fixing it mode, or you can operate it in the mode that I prefer, which is the always measure and always fix, and unless I tell you otherwise. And once the delay is minimized, or once the delay error is minimized, unless something serious happens in the air chain, the correction is only going to be a few samples one way or the other, usually. So leaving the box in automatic is the preferred mode.
And it'll get it down to sample accuracy?
Within one sample, yeah. And our measurement algorithm is actually capable of measuring quarter sample errors. So we believe that this algorithm, as far as the time measurement aspect, may be potentially more accurate than what's out in the field that we're aware of.
What about in terms of matching processing then between the analog and the HD? If you've got the time alignment just right to make that blend perfect, what's the current thinking about how precisely then the sound should match to when it blends?
Well, that's a kind of a different subject because now we've got an HD codec in the way as well. But one of the benefits of having a single box do both FM and HD is you don't have the unpredictable group delay and response and dynamic differences between two different processors. I remember in the old days of HD, some stations would just put their backup processor on the HD. And in most cases, that was a completely different model, and in many cases, a completely different brand. It makes it very, very difficult to do a time alignment measurement for anyone because you've got so many things that are changing at the same time the time is changing. It's hard to determine if it's really a time error or a processing dynamics difference between whatever is on HD and FM. So by going with something like an X3, you've got all the dynamics processing is occurring in one box. The two chains know about each other. The delay in FM and HD is a fixed amount of difference, never changes. And that way the time alignment has a much easier job because not only doesn't have to measure an unknown processor, it has access to the signals that it's generating anyway. So there's some things we do that make the time alignment measurement or the time error measurement potentially a lot more accurate and a lot more consistent than other ways that are being done right now.
That sounds like, especially in, as in so many shops these days where engineering time and resources are so limited, like this really simplifies a lot of the things that were making HD radio so complicated for people.
Well, in theory, the HD thing should be a set and forget, right? You put the system in, you set the diversity delay, you lock everything down, you walk away, and from that point on, it should be perfect. And it usually isn't. And especially if the FM and HD signals are getting to the transmitter side or wherever by slightly different paths, especially if they're being connected by an IP means, because now you've got some packet loss time skew that can happen that has nothing to do with the diversity delay itself. It has to do with the transport delay. But we can measure that and we can fix it.